Continuing the thinking. Constructivist theory and inquiry learning. They seem to be the perfect match. And in fact, they are, if those immersed in the process are actually able to engage with it. Those immersed in it, of course, are the students in your classrooms. In those full-day kindergarten, reception or preparatory classrooms that you have got up and running now, if you're in Canada or America, you're just a month or so into school. If you're in Australia, you are getting towards the last part of your year, and the UK, you're just underway as well. But these are the students we're talking about. We're talking about how are they engaging with all of the activities and the creativity of your thinking that I know you're putting into your programs. Let me give you an example of the sort of students that I'm greatly concerned about and are causing me to puzzle consistently. Not a new thing for me, but certainly an ongoing one. I'm talking about those students. For example, if you're familiar with the record of oral language in the Australian context, and I think probably in the UK context, a lot of you would be as well, or the receptive oral language assessment, the shorter piece that I've introduced in Canada, and some folk in the USA would know about it, and some people in the UK as well. Those children, if they're on the record of oral language, the larger piece, if they score between 0 and 13, these students are at major risk in terms of their receptive language. If they've been administered the roller, the shorter piece, the adapted one for the receptive language of the students, and they score between 0 and 5, these students are in that same category. They're at major risk of what? Of understanding the complex structures used by you, the teacher, in our daily activity in the classroom. I'm particularly interested in that area of receptive language, and those of you that have worked with me or have come across my work or have read my research pieces know that I've spent the last 15 years looking at literacy improvements across 3 continents and in school systems. And in particular, in the last 7 years, I've been focused on the area of oral language and its impact on learning for the students, in particular the receptive language, moving to their expressive language, and of how it impacts the instructional language of the teachers. So let's think about these students in your constructivist, inquiry-based classrooms. A perfect marriage if those immersed can engage. Those little students who I've just mentioned, scoring either 0 to 5 on roller or 0 to 15 on the record of oral language, are at major risk. They are not going to be able to cognitively engage in those classrooms. How will they be able to make the learning purposeful if in fact they cannot even follow a simple instruction or all but a simple instruction? Think about that. What is a simple instruction in your mind? What does it sound like? It's not a 2 and 3 part instruction. That immediately becomes complex. That immediately assumes that students have working memory. That immediately assumes that they can hold their thoughts and then put that first instruction with a second instruction. For the majority of children in those score bands that I've mentioned earlier, they are not going to be able to follow a 2 or 3 part instruction. So what is a simple instruction? And when you start to explore that, you'll see that you very rarely use them. Those same children will have great difficulty in following a story read to them in the classroom. Now, that's a massive impact. So when we think about our inquiry classrooms, when we think about how we set them to work with their peers, which is a fantastic process and opportunity. We think about having them there to engage and talk with each other. These students are generally the students who do not engage in active dialogue. Without your scaffolding, without your explicit instruction, without the more knowing other of the teacher, the teacher's assistant, other adults, these students will be engaged. Most likely, the engagement will be physical. They may be happy, enjoying the play, enjoying the fun, enjoying the activity. But are they achieving the goals that you have specifically set for them in terms of moving on? I'll come back with some more thoughts on this in another video later.